Picture this. It's 10 years from now. You get off work, you're feeling lazy, you want to find something to watch. You get home, you log into whatever device you're using, and you go to uClick, the place where all your favorite creators used to be. But this new place knows you well. Like Google and YouTube for that matter in this era, it knows everything you're interested in purchasing. It knows every click you make on the internet. And it knows all the creators that you used to watch to like. So you pop up uClick and you click, and suddenly a bunch of suggested videos with thumbnails and titles and suggestions all pop up at once. You click on the one that's most relevant and pow, just like that, you are filled with joy. You're laughing, you're wanting to buy stuff. There's links in the description all towards stores that are affiliated with uClick. And you know, maybe today you're just a little bit lazy, so instead of doing that click, you just swipe up and a short feed starts producing itself, and basically the same thing. Instant relaxation, instant happiness, showing you exactly what you want to see, what you want to hear, what you need to see, what you need to hear to be a functioning member of society. And these aren't just any videos, these are the right videos, the ones that are the most engaging for you, independently, your personality. They may even have to do with personal things that you happen to be going through. I mean, that little device in your pocket's always listening. Maybe there's one about getting along better in your relationships. Maybe there's one about eating less carbs. Maybe there's one about new diets you could try, or ones that are telling you that you don't need to diet and you should just say, hey, go treat yourself to a donut. The point is, everything is custom tailored, and it's everything that you ever wanted entertainment to be. Not only that, but a lot of these seem really familiar. Of course, they're not real people, but they remind you of subjects and videos that you have seen in your childhood, in your younger years, and they have sort of a nostalgia to them. Some of them are very similar to vlogs, some of them are video essay styles, some of them are more like a South Park cartoon, and it sort of knows what you want to see at what time of day, and if you don't like something, you just swipe away or click the button again, and uClick feeds it directly onto your device, or maybe to your Neuralink. I don't really know. I think you get where I'm going with this, and to me, it makes me think, should we consider everything that a video maker puts online, or even a commenter that comments on Reddit, or even YouTube, or Facebook, is that a gift to whatever platform or platforms, or even just the internet at large for them to have and do whatever they want with? And not only that, but even the actions that we take on a daily basis. Is me turning left at a stop sign, me giving that information to whoever it may be useful for? Maybe the car is for the greater good, but how about if I go for a walk, even a walk in a park? Maybe that park has cameras. Maybe a company similar, or actually Palantir, is watching and training their AI algorithms on the data that you are providing by going for that walk in the park. And that helps them train an AI robot to hunt you down, to make sure that you follow every ridiculous rule that the now corporation that owns all the countries has. Now, it seems crazy, it seems absurd, but it definitely also seems like our world has a possibility into going into that future. There's a lot of things that make me think that this is a big possibility. I mean, they really are putting security cameras into national forests, for instance. This video isn't like super well thought out, but I've been thinking about uClick and the idea of uClick for quite a while, and I've been seeing some other creators pop up on YouTube talking about the way that they're training their algorithm to basically possibly replace us, or at least push us in certain directions. We're at a point where the algorithms are at this certain point where they can't quite replace us yet, but they can try to regulate us, but there's lots of problems and a lot more training. I have a theory that AI, although is a powerful tool, like I've said in other videos, it isn't as great or as life-changing as some of these tech billionaires would like you to believe. Or maybe it is, but not in the way that they want to sell it to. Now, I'm a big supporter in fair use, but it is quite the dilemma. The concept of fair use in US law allows for the limited copying or reference to copyrighted material if the new use adds something transformative. meaning that it changes the original work's purpose, message, or context. For example, a film critic may show a short clip of the original movie to discuss the cinematography or storyline. Or somebody like myself making a video essay and showing a news article or some valid source to prove what I'm talking about has merit. It is adding to the discussion, it is combining different sources and transforming it into something new. I am not a lawyer. AI advocates argue that artificial intelligence is generally doing the same thing, pulling data from different data sources, sort of mixing it together, reinterpreting it, and spitting it back out. Obviously, its outputs are not the original. If it's okay for a human to do it, why wouldn't it be okay for a computer to do it? And in that sense of the term, I think they have a point. And AI is a tool. I gotta say it in every video that I mention AI in, because AI can benefit humanity, especially if you're a scientist or a doctor trying to find different cures for diseases and taking large sets of data that humans made, siphoning through it and seeing what you can make out of it. It puts more power into human hands, and that includes creativity. However, I think there is a thin red line, and I think it's interesting that us as humans, I would argue, all sort of have a sense of where that thin red line is. It may be slightly different for me than it is for you, and there's purists on both sides, but I think we all know when somebody's doing hard work or it's just pure slop. It is getting harder to tell from the internet, especially when some of these people are using AI to straight steal someone's work, sort of change the words a little bit, and then spit it back out. At the same time, I don't think anybody's going to argue that cutting out a background of a video or using AI search to find relevant topics, as long as you're not quoting directly from the hallucinating artificial intelligence and you're actually using it to search the web in real sources, I don't think very many people are going to argue that there's anything wrong with that. I feel like I'm continuing to state the obvious here, but it becomes a problem when you take an entire article and reword it and then make a video, write a different article, put it in your newsletter, and claim it as your own. Now, Casey Neistat is a controversial character, but I don't think anybody can argue that everybody used to love him and he inspired many. Sort of like Ryan Trahan is now. I guess it's like that Batman saying. But what if there was this new vlog on this platform called UClick, where the AI's characteristics looked suspiciously like Casey or Ryan, and it ran around its artificially generated world, telling you about its artificially generated day and its artificially generated opinion. Now, what if its mannerisms were much like Casey's or Ryan's? So much so that a fan could tell. Maybe he even wears the same sort of outfits, similar edits, and so on. Now, what if it wasn't trained on one of them, it was trained on both? Or everybody that ever vlogged, Peter McKinnon, Maddie Hatoya, Sarah Dietschy, and so on. Still feels gross, huh? I think this data question is the question of our time. After all, data is the modern day gold. Well, actually silicon is, but you get what I'm saying. I obviously don't have the answers. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a politician, I'm just a human on the internet. But I think that we all know there needs to be more done, either rules or regulations, or just the public. Maybe it's on us as consumers to say no to sloppy AI mess. But then what about the younger generation? How are they going to know any better? A lot of these AI slop channels like to target kids with their pretty colors, and I mean, some of these kids don't want to be called kids, right? Some of them are 13, and what if they end up growing up on it? I mean, the new generation, if they were born in the last few years, they're going to grow up on AI slop. AI slop is going to evolve with them, and then by the time they are late teenagers and adults, they will be so used to it, and AI will have improved to the point where it sort of keeps up on them. And I sound like an old grandpa yelling about watching too much television, I feel like, but what does that do to the population? I think we are seeing the effects of social media in very real ways now, both in the fact that the corporations have more control than ever because whoever paints reality has the power, and in many, many other ways, some of which we won't be able to fully understand for hundreds of years if we even make it that far. Now, I like to be an optimist and think that this is all part of the human story, and eventually we're going to end up at Star Trek, but we do have to solve these problems. The way it is now, I don't see good outcomes happening. Luckily for us, nothing ever stays the same. The only constant in life is change. It's just a matter of what direction is it going to change. Are we going to see public turn private? Is the corporations going to own every bit of data coming out of every single person? Is there going to be such a thing as privacy? Because when you're in public and the corporation owns your movement, if you're on your, I used to be a skateboarder and I'm just thinking out loud, but what if there's a camera at the skate park and there's an AI training on my moves, and then they use that data to train a skateboarding robot or a better Tony Hawk pro skater? Now, obviously, I won't get a cut, but it's also like, are those my motions? Every skater knows that every skater skates a little bit different, and the same thing goes for all those sports. And without compensation, and more than that, nobody asked if they could train off of my body motion. You get what I'm saying? If every conversation is logged and trained, then what is owned? It will come down to our own thoughts, and then if they start putting chips in that and we start using VR more and more, just where our, tracking our eyes with Apple Vision Pro and a lot of these devices and putting chips in our brain, and eventually even our thoughts will not be private. We will eventually just turn into the Borg or something. Now, as much as I love the idea of humans getting along and putting our differences aside, and I believe that humans are humans, and I also believe that everything that doesn't hurt another person should be legal, and people should stop caring how other people believe or think or look, and all of these interesting human weird problems that are serious problems. But at the same time, I like individuality. I think even though humans are a lot alike and we have more similarities than differences, more than perhaps the elites want us to see in each other, I also think that we have autonomy and we are pack animals and we all contribute to the pack in our own ways. And more this technology wraps around our life, more and more we think the same. And, I'm sounding crazy now, but I mean, it was just a couple years ago that Elon put the first chip in someone's head. And there's a lot of good reasons to put a chip in someone's head, but I like privacy. I don't know, man. What do y'all think? This is literally just taking an Apple's note and talking to the camera. How do you like the format? Again, I got some other videos on the burner, and like, subscribe, and I'll either see you in the next video or I'll see you in the next live.